The topics we are going to cover on this episode, I know very little about, but I do find them fascinating. I've done a little research for the show, but I do not claim to be an expert or even know or understand a lot of these topics. This episode is for exploration, to question, to be thought provoking to the audience. We have some very interesting topics in store, but it's basically merely just for entertainment and just to kind of maybe spark some ideas and some thoughts. On this episode, we feature a return guest that was on episode 69, Side of Paranormal, Scrambled with the Unknown, national best-selling author of Scrambled, A Perfect Recipe for Math, Murder, and Revenge, a man that is a must bring back to the show based on just his interest and knowledge in so many different topics. Fascinating guy. He's highly intelligent, a deep thinker. I'd like to welcome Fred Williams back to the show. How you doing, Fred?
Dylan, thank you for that introduction, man. I gotta you set the bar really high for this interview, buddy.
Well, you're the man. I mean, I'm excited to have you back on. Since the first time we spoke, man, I knew just all the different things that you were into. I was like, man, this
Yeah.
guy is a good guest to have back on.
One of my strengths is if you ever take a strengths finder test, and my number one strength is intellectual. I am just curious about how things work, man, and it's things I want to talk about today. I just want to start off with a little bit of the paranormal that is happening, and I want to bring this to you. One of my side ventures is I do have a apartment complex, and back in my hometown, and unfortunately, one of my tenants has passed away. They found him, of course, and to the viewer, this was the way he wanted to go. He didn't want to be bothered in his final days. He had everything he needed. And, if you ever worked in a nursing home, one of the biggest stressors for an elderly person is when you remove them from a known environment and put them into an unknown. It's a stress, especially for someone his age. So we left him in this apartment. He had friends that provided for him, of course, but he did unfortunately pass away. The strange thing that has been happening in this unit, and this has started happening, I got note of it yesterday from the tenant that lives below. Noticed some lights were on. Now, when the police left the building, I got there and I secured the his thing, so we don't want anybody going into his property that might have keys and stuff like that. So we secured it. I cut all those lights out, man. I cut them all off. Every switch was down. And when my tenant, he gets up at 4 a.m. and he goes to his car. He said, "Hey, Fred, were you in?" He called me that afternoon. He's like, "Hey, Fred, were you in the apartment like late last night?" I was like, "No, I left. I did my business and went out and had a good time." And he said, "Who left the lights on?" I was like, "Nobody." No, he said, "The lights were on." I said, "Dude, stop playing." I was like, "Come on, man. This is too soon, too serious." He's like, "No, Fred. When I went down the stairs, he goes down the stairs and he looks up, you can see the windows of the apartment. He said there was a light on. I was like, okay, what the heck is going on?" So, I blew it off like, "Dude, come on, man. You just had too much to drink." So I got the key to his apartment. Both doors are locked. And I go in. This is today, like right before this thing. Okay, right before our meeting. Go in. Dylan, I turned that lamp off. I turned it off. And I walked in, that it was on. I said, "What do you want?" I just started talking. "What do you want? What do you want, man?" It was nuts, man. The lamp was, it's, you got to reach under the shade to turn the lamp. It was on.
Right.
No
Wow.
explanation. Now, recently passed, maybe he's still in the transition state. That's a sacred space there. When someone passes, that moment, a lot of people, and feel free to interrupt anytime. When you get into that space, and I'm saying this to somebody that's, maybe they're about to lose a loved one, or if they lost a loved one of the things you don't want to do is lose that moment. Uh, he is brand new. It's a rebirth on the other side. It's akin to a childbirth. You got this life that's starting. He's freshly, wherever my tenant went, rest in peace, my friend. But wherever he is in a new space and he's just starting off. That space is sacred. And what a lot of people do is they don't honor that space. They don't sit in that space. They don't take a moment. They start. Well, what are we gonna do? Who am I gonna call? I gotta do this. I gotta do that. You start this big to-do list. And one of the things I recently read, it was so good. Just take a few moments in that space and just honor it. Honor the presence, honor the long journey had, honor the laughs, the tears, the experiences he not only that he received, that he also imparted on somebody else. I think a lot of people that they grief process is to task, and they don't want to get into that moment.
Right.
That's one of the first things I did when I got there. I went to that space and I just kind of sat and I just let the presence of it, envelop, the sadness, the happiness. We had some good times. I known this guy for 22 years. The happiness, the sadness, the overall presence. That presence is so important. So I just wanted to share that with you. That one just happened today, man, and it freaked me out. So
That's fascinating. How
man,
long ago was it since he passed again?
Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And is there been anything else like that the neighbor did? I mean, has he heard any kind of movement or seen anything strange other than the light?
I think the only situation was the lights. That house, I lived there for 11 years. It makes some noises, man. You hear some creaks and you hear some door slams into doors, and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on in this basement here? Let me go down and see. And nothing's happening. So, but let me tell you though, a lot of people think of haunted. They think of creepy. They think of, and I want to transition to my next one. They think creepy. They think of this old abandoned, wore out house. Some hauntings are not fear-inducing.
That's right. I think
Some
I
of
think
them,
sometimes people's imagination kind of runs away with it too,
yeah,
and it intensifies the fear
yeah,
and creates more of an issue. Maybe a lot of times I think entities or spirits or whatever you want to call it are just trying
yeah,
to get your attention rather than
definitely.
scare you.
Yeah, yeah, and the reason I say that is because I remember with last time we talked about the Winchester place and how there's. I said I went into this last room of the Winchester Palace, and for those the audience that don't know, that's San Jose, right? The Winchester, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, it's haunted, but the one room because it takes a lot for me. I got this tolerance for hauntings. But the one room, man, it felt like it was a curtain that fell on you, and it was like, all right, something's going on in this room, man. I'm telling you. So, and a lot of people they're more sensitive to receive paranormal experiences, but I knew for that one, um, yeah, something was up. But I want to get to the nitty gritty, man. I want to get to this.
What
Okay, I'm a writer. I write suspense thriller, right?
uh-huh.
I'm gonna tell you how this started. My to-be sister-in-law. I recently got engaged. My to-be sister-in-law daughter said, "Hey, I want to go to the Stanley Hotel for my birthday, and I want to invite Uncle
Oh,
Fred and Auntie Andy, right?" So we're honored. We're like, okay, I'm thinking, I don't. What's the Stanley Hotel? And she's like, that's where they made The Shining. That's where Stephen King wrote The Shining. So there's two. Okay, the film. There were two Shinings. One Shining, Stephen King, he filmed his own, but that was after, of course, the infamous Shining. But that hotel was filmed, I think, somewhere in Europe. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. It's filmed in
oh,
another
was it?
state.
Was it? I thought it was it wasn't a hotel in like Colorado or something, or
Well,
no?
the original hotel for the inspiration for the movie for
For The
Jack
Shining.
Nicholson, yeah, it was that hotel, but they filmed
Gotcha.
it in another hotel. So,
Oh, gotcha.
but Stephen King did one at that hotel. So we're thinking, all right, fine, they did The Shining, not a big deal. Did you know that hotel's like the most haunted hotel ever? Now, I told you I got a high tolerance for paranormal experiences, right? So it'll hit me, but it ain't like my girlfriend was freaking out. My fiance was freaking out. She was like, this is my niece. We gotta honor her. She's 12. It is an honor. Because I can't think of an auntie or uncle that I would want to invite to my 12-year-old party. What I'm saying? I'm like, wait, all right, I'm the cool uncle. Hey.
Heck yeah.
Let's live this up. Man, let me tell you something, man. Okay, let me preface what I'm about to tell you. Ghost Hunters has an episode about the Stanley Hotel. They got two episodes they went back. I'm gonna tell you, I watched those 2 episodes after. I don't watch TV, so that's for fun. When we got back, we watched the episodes. So remember, I said that I watched the episodes after. Okay, so we got that noted. Okay, so we get there, right? Man, this place is beautiful, right? Classic, classy hotel, and real cool. It's real nice. And okay, so we asked the infamous question to the lobby, the reception of this place. She's yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But it's a beautiful hotel, and I invite anybody that goes there. You have to stay there. I went. I said, okay, my goal was to have a nightmare. I didn't, I was like, I don't see no ghosts. I just want to have a nightmare. Give me a nightmare. Put it into the cranium, so I can write about it, and I can have this experience of writing in a atmosphere of a haunted house, of a haunted hotel. So I found Stephen King's room where he was inspired to write The Shining. It was room 217.
And he had experiences, right? Is that
the story? Was he had a housekeeper that passed away, and the housekeeper passed away before he got there, but the room was haunted. So apparently he put up all his clothes and unpacked the suitcases and stuff, and him and his wife went somewhere. And when they came back, all their clothes were packed. No, is that right? Was it packed or unpacked? One, two, they were all neatly folded and put back up. I think they unpacked, and I think she packed them back up, or they were still packed and she unpacked them and put everything up. So he walks in and is like, this ain't how we left this room. That's the start. I think that was his experience. So we get to our room, we get checked in, we start bringing our stuff up, and we're all just in there like, okay, we're here, right? So first thing we notice, there's a giant closet in one room, and that just scary on me. So Dylan, I put my life on this. I am a skeptic, okay? Remember, I told you this last time. I am a skeptic of some of this stuff. We're in this room. We're in the bedroom. There's a ceiling fan. Okay, so the window's open. I will give you that, okay? Window's open, so there might be a breeze coming in. That fan is spinning this direction, and it's going about this speed. Can you see my hand?
Yeah.
Watch what my hand does. That fan stopped. It started going this way.
Oh man.
I was sitting there like, that don't make, man, I'm not lying. Anybody out there,
That's crazy.
call me. I will verify the story with 3 other people. We all sat there like, okay, it's about to go down. The window's still open, so I'll give it that, but it stopped. It started going this way.
And then reversed.
In reverse. Wow. That was the first one. I was like, okay, we got problems. So a couple of nights later, same evening. We're all sitting around. We're getting ready to go out. We're getting dressed. The ladies are in one room. I'm in the other room. And all of a sudden, we hear a. So my girlfriend goes, and who is it? Like that. And again, it was a. So she opens the door. She's like, she thought I was playing around first. I was like, no, I was in it. And she's like, hey, Jess, stop playing. I was like, I'm in my drawers right now. I ain't playing. It's like, wait. So I'm in the other room. Who's outside knocking on this door? So you're thinking it's like an attendant or a bellhop or someone like. So open the door, and she looked both ways down that hall. Nothing. So let's fast forward. We get to the night. I'm gonna tell you something, man. If y'all go, man, we this is what we found out while we were there. Okay, so the most haunted room is room 401. Okay, this is where I think the owner was. So just remember that thought. We were in 301, so we were under the most scary room at this hotel. So we go to dinner. Me and my babe, her sister and her daughter, they go off to bed, and ahead of us. So we stayed up, had another drink, and met a couple and started talking, shooting the breeze, So me and the babe was up. He's like, hey, let's go check this place out. So we started walking around. All right, guys, come on, give me the show. Knock some photos over, or knock a picture, knock a lampshade over, or something. Give me something. Nothing. Walked through the whole building, all 4 floors. Walked around. We walked to the piano room. There's a piano room. There's a concert hall. It's like I said, beautiful building. My babe, she's a little more empathic than I am. Empathetic, whatever the word, empath. She can pick up. She was picking up some energy in the piano room, but it was more empowering. I am in here reward. That was the kind of energy she picked up. Weird energy, but she picked that up. It wasn't negative. Okay, this place is a sham, so we go to bed. And, go to bed. I go to sleep. Man, my girlfriend woke me up. When I tell you she woke me up, I'm gonna tell you what happened to me first. Remember that curtain I told you about at the Winchester?
Yeah.
I popped up and it just the room, this thing go down. My girlfriend woke me up and she said what she felt this thing was going across was actually going across and down. She felt a presence go across her face. And it wasn't. Now, I'm gonna preface this. The window is in between two beds and the wind is blowing in. So you might have a vortex or something like this. But it wasn't going the same speed. It was like a curtain just came across and just kind of just glided across. And that's when she woke me up. And that's when I saw with my eyes this kind of wavy thing going across. I was like, okay.
So that thing you seen, she actually felt on her face.
She felt, yes.
That's crazy.
Exactly. We
Wow.
start hearing some bumping going on in 401. Now, ain't too many people in this hotel, so we don't know if somebody was up there. So we just gave the benefit of the doubt. Not somebody hanging around. So she was still awake. I didn't notice, but I laid back down. So while I'm sitting there, I said, okay. I started getting mad. I started hearing some kids. I'm like, who are these kids? I hear some kids laughing. I'm like, man, it's what, 2 in the morning, something. Man, I heard these kids. They're laughing. They're like some kids playing in the hall. And then I said, okay, kids running around, blah, whatever. Then like a few minutes later, I hear one girl crying. It was always the one girl, right? She's the one that get hurt or somebody pulled her hair or something, the bully that like her push her down or something. I said, okay, fine, kids, whatever. And I kind of dozed off again. So I turned around on my stomach and dozed off. I heard this sound and it was a whistling. It was like, one time it was like that. I was like, okay. I asked the question. I said, what do you want? It was a shriek. It was a, I said, what do you want? I'm here. One thing I do, I'm like I said, I'm a skeptic, but all right, you got my attention. What do you want? My girlfriend couldn't sleep no more after she felt that presence. She said, now this, I couldn't see none of this because I was on my belly. She said the door kind of opened itself, and went on about her business. And at that point, when she saw the door open, we got up because it was like 5 in the morning. She said, I can't do this no more. So we got up, we got dressed, and we went and had some coffee. And she was like, I was like, how'd you sleep? And my girlfriend was just angry. It was like, I'm so mad and I don't know why. It was like she was just angry, because the things kept her up. So come to find out, I said all that stuff for a reason. So we get back. Those were the experiences we had. They told us that 401 was the most haunted room in the place. Stephen King's room was haunted. We watched Ghost Hunters, right? So they're sitting down talking to the manager when they filmed the thing, and they said, now remember, I didn't see this. So they said one of the things that you'll experience there, is there were a lot of housekeepers back in the 1800s or when this hotel was built, and they had kids, and they would let their kids run around the building and play.
Wow.
There wasn't no kids on that floor.
Now, I wonder if Stephen King had heard kids while he stayed there in the hallways too, because that's kind of part of that whole story, right?
Exactly. I heard
the children
kids
playing in the hallway.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about that Shining scene with the tricycles too. Now I'm thinking about that now. I didn't catch that part, but I was just tripping that they said that on Ghost Hunters, and there it is.
If I'm not mistaken, there's what's the name of that show? There was I can't think of the name of it because I don't watch much TV either.
Yeah.
But it's American Horror Story. There was a season where it's based on a hotel, and I think I could be wrong, but I think maybe some of that was inspired by the Stanley.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I also think that there was kids in the hallway in that
Yep.
one too.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
just creepy. That's creepy, man.
Man, I'm telling you, and like I said, that's why I told you that stuff first. I didn't watch Ghosts because I didn't want to get filled with, okay, this
Yeah,
is what I'm looking for.
exactly.
Those were the experiences I had. They got verified by the ghost hunters. The other one, and this was happening in the other hall. So I don't know how this happened. They went to this other hall. It's like a banquet hall, have weddings and stuff. And they said one of the hauntings that they have experienced there is a
Whoa, what you experienced in your room?
same. This is where I throw the shoe at the TV. I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me, man. Come on, Dylan. I'm a
That's
skeptic.
crazy.
I'm telling you what I experienced, man.
Now, do you think the kids are more like residual, like from a past time when they were playing in the hallway, or did it seem like it was an intelligence about it?
There is an interesting theory about energy, and I kind of agree with this. I think, given the composition of some of the rock formations that they built this hotel on,
Yes.
some of the crystals in the rock serve as, it's almost, if you think of it like a hard drive storing data. It stores these energies, and the kids are the energies being replayed, rehashed, whatever, pressures or whatever forces are acting upon these crystals or energy or the rocks itself. It's forcing these energies to replay. And so you're seeing like it's like a VCR playing. You're seeing these
Yeah, like a
images
tape
playing.
recorder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a tape recorder, or you're playing back some memory or
A
data from your
VHS or
hard drive.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
VHS. Yeah. So you're getting these images of what already happened, and that's what I think it is. It's this energy. It's a manipulation of energy because of the foundation that this hotel was built upon. I believe it, man. It is
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely
I think science,
insane.
I could be mistaken, but I think science has even proved that like you can store like memory and things in water,
Yeah.
maybe not memory, but I don't know. I could be
Well, if you think about
misspeaking.
what everything is, even our memory in our brains, it's all chemical energy
That's
reaction.
true.
All it is.
Yeah, that's valid.
Energy moves from one point to the other. And I think what you're seeing is it's like a replay. It's not a replay in a sense, but it's a pattern energy that is being emitted. And our senses are picking up this pattern as a ghost. That actually happened. I believe it.
That's a
I
really
believe it.
cool story, man.
Yeah. I tell you, I'm ready to write. I'm ready to write, man. I mean, I was writing from this thing. Now I'm writing from this thing. I know what it, man. With that man, well, man.
So that's good. That means there's another book in the works. That's
There's a
good.
book in the works. Yeah, it's actually being edited. I got it edited already, and I have another friend. She's a really good writer, and I say, hey, can you take a look at this? Just go through it and make sure my stuff is crisp and solid. She's looking at it right now. Actually, it should be done in 2 days, and coming out, man. We have a now from the first book. We had a psychotic principal who believed education was a matter of life and death, and now we have a caregiver that's kind of hell bent on never being disrespected by men again. She's going to make sure that she gets treated right on her dates, or the
What
consequences are deadly.
what's the title of the book?
Chrome number 22. Chrome number 22, or the surgeon scalpel. You ever heard of a surgeon scalpel? It's a chrome number 22 blade.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's cool, man.
yeah.
That's
One of her
cool.
weapons of choice. Yeah.
I can dig
It's
it,
good.
man. I can dig
Yes,
it.
sir.
You're gonna have to shoot me over the links and stuff to that when it comes out, so that way
Definitely.
I can share it in the show notes.
No,
Um,
appreciate that. Will
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yep, yep.
So with that being said, man, you wanted to talk. You had some very interesting topics. You shot me an
Yes,
email on.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
You
want to
wanted
get
to
started.
talk
Yeah.
about robots and like technology and kind of where this thing's all going, right? And maybe what your thoughts are. Maybe you know some information that others don't know.
I don't.
Um, but before you get too evil with it, though, I
Yeah.
kind of want you, because I think there's some good points to robotics and technology.
Definitely.
What do you think some of the the good points are? Maybe.
Robots and technology is good. As you know, robots don't have emotions. They don't have bad days at work. They don't get sick. They don't get inflicted with injury, disease. Most of it is
Yeah, they don't get
maintenance.
tired.
They don't get tired. They're not in love. They don't express emotion. They're programs. They do the program, they run. Well, humans are the same way. We're programs, but we also have programmed emotions, anger, sadness, happiness. Even sometimes when you're so happy, you get distracted, and that could be detrimental to a situation because you're happy.
Yeah.
You get good news. But
Well,
robots.
we have a lot of different other qualities too. I think imagination is one
Yeah.
that comes to mind. Also
Yep.
inner motivation,
Yes.
the either lack thereof or just being, completely driven and motivated it to accomplish something.
I want to come back to that word you said, imagination. So I'm gonna challenge you on that when we talk about robots. So, but yes,
Okay.
you're right. Motivation, inspiration, ambition. Robots don't have ambition at all. They go just holding. That's
Well, and from what I understand too, these are things that computer programmers are unable to. They're from what I understand, they're very far from being able to program that kind of a thing into a machine.
I think they're getting a little closer though.
Do
They're
you?
yeah, I think so. It's not going to, what's the is it called the Turing test, where if you can't tell if it's a robot or a person, it passes the Turing test. I mean, I think they're getting pretty close to the physical design and the consciousness
But you're
of
talking about
artificial
physical,
intelligence.
like a look of a physical giving off maybe an emotion, but is the thing really conscious and feeling emotion?
Right. And that's the debate, because how would you know unless you was inside of that, the brain, you was the brain of that thing. How
Right.
would you know that?
Right.
But that brings a deeper conversation. I mean, am I just a special effect? Am I just a pixelated image that your eyes are perceiving to have this conversation that got a big, giant, goofy smile on his face all the
Well,
time? I mean, is that,
you
is that a
likely
manifestation of
you
your
likely
brain?
are. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think any of us really know, but I mean, we likely are just a mirror image of potentially consciousness,
Think about,
a projection of what consciousness wants us to see.
yeah, of your consciousness. So
Exactly.
what if I was just the whole point? What if your brain already laid out your past and your future and you're just walking through it? Like this whole meeting was set up in your brain years ago, and now it's just coming to pass. So what if like everything, I mean, we're going into free will versus what's the face now,
Exactly.
But what if? I
Man,
mean,
there is a what if factor, but I can't buy into the fact that we don't have free will. I do believe that maybe some things are meant to happen, and there's a path that maybe certain people are supposed to go on,
right.
and maybe certain things that you have to go through that were planned prior to your lifetime beginning. But I do believe that free will still plays a large part into what we do. That's what makes it
Definitely.
fun, I think.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what, you
definitely.
know.
Yeah.
But going back to the robot thing, man, because
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. All right. So one thing I found fascinating before you get started. All right. So
Mhm.
I don't think robots are cracked up, as of right now, like what people think. I mean, because they are great, right? Like all the things you mentioned they're really good, but like
Yeah.
especially like in the automotive industry, like
Definitely.
they do a lot of the painstaking work that's like repetitive work that
Yes.
maybe that would wear out humans or wear on humans. But
Definitely.
in 2017 I found an interesting article in researching this show. Elon Musk, let me make sure I'm getting this right,
Mm-hmm.
um wanted to fully automate his Model 3 Tesla. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
And the goal was to produce 20,000 units
Yep.
a month. Within the first 3 months of being fully automated, they were only able to produce 2,400 units. And he completely changed his whole game plan and, hired, humans to do the position and, to try to get their goals met. And he in that he had said that he had quoted that humans are very underrated
Yeah.
when it comes to things.
Right
Um,
now. Right now
right
they are.
now. Yeah,
Right
right
now
now.
they are. Let me tell
Yeah.
you something. I'm gonna ask you a question about that. Now you're looking at this. I'm because there's two different subjects. Are we talking about the automated car? Or are we talking about the robots that made the car? So, but let's talk about the robots that made the car. And it sounds like we're like, oh my God, they only made 2,400 units fully automated right now. Here's what I'm saying: we are innovators. We strive. We learn from our mistakes. We go back and we try again. I mean, look at the first iPhone compared to the one we have now.
That's a valid point.
Look at the Model T compared to the cars. Look at the efficiency of the internal combustion engine right now compared to when we first started. Humans innovate. That is, we look at the mistakes, we learn from those mistakes, so we try not to let it happen again. That's why it's okay to fail. I'm gonna slip my messages. Failing is okay because when you fail, you go back to that drawing board. You don't start from scratch. You start from what didn't work.
Yeah, it's where you learn. That's how you learn.
That's where you learn. So we're saying now that he only made 2,400 units out of 24,000. That's 10% right now. So let's look at this. We're looking at a span from when the Model T was the first model, the assembly line for the Model T was 1940, Henry Ford 40s. First car came around 1900s. We're looking at a little bit more than 100 years. We don't have wooden tires no more. We got fully functional ABS brakes that can sense the car in front of you and can stop faster than you. And we're looking at 100 years? Where are we going to be with this car? The curve is not going this way. The curve is going to go up that way. It's going to be a point where we're going to go outside. We're not going to even have cars. There's going to be these pods. You get in your pod and you start working, and this thing's going to take you where you need to go. Who's going to need a car? You ain't going to drive. Driving is going to be like an old sport. But the efficiency that's going to come out of this stuff. I mean, look at the tire itself. The innovations from a tire. All ABS brakes. It's not when you press the brakes, the hydraulic fluid squeezes the clamp down and it slows the tire down. It incrementally stops it like a light. You know how a light is not actually on, it's just blinking real fast because of the AC-DC exchange. The brakes are doing the same thing, which is why when you press it and the brake clamp down, your tires slide. Now it's just slowing it down incrementally. That's the technology from just a tire. I mean, we can go through this whole car and talk about from 1900 to 2022, the innovations that have come. Fully automated robots that can only do 10% right now. I'll give that less than 15 years. He's going to meet his goal.
But do you think, I mean, I know a lot of people are like kind of have this fear about robots and that, maybe they'll replace humans for jobs and maybe even take over the world someday, maybe even kill off humans, But my thing is, why can't we coexist as,
I want to have a serious talk about this, about we can coexist, but there has to be, the rate of technology expansion is happening so fast that we don't have laws to cover it. We can't make the laws fast enough to cover it. We have to get an educational grasp on what's happening because we're talking robots in a factory. I need for us to expand robots as anything that takes the work out of a human's hands. It's gone. It's crypto now. It's electronic. It's a credit card. It's anything that starts with paper is where we had to physically involve ourselves with the exchange. It's going. How many devices have been crammed into one phone? We have a record player, we got calculator, we got camera, we got a phone, we got
TV, computer,
we got video games. I can go. There's a stack. It's being consolidated. But what we're also consolidating are the people that built these things, the people that made these things. So now we go to Jack in the Box and they got a kiosk. I can just punch in what I want and I can just wait, and then the lady will bring me my order when it's ready. It's going to get to a point where you not only are going to have a kiosk that can take my money, you're going to have a robot that can cook the food.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to be a point. And I
Yeah,
think the problem is the monetary system that we live under is
right.
that it's going to create problems in society because people are going to be jobless.
The
But
singularity
if
is,
we
yeah.
didn't live in that system, we could coexist.
Now here's the problem though. We're are, and this is where the singularity is being guided by absolute, and this is an opinion native. It's being guided by greed because the again, you want robots don't go on disability long term. You know, robots don't have maternity leave. You know, they robots just make. Now you were teaching robots to take our money, to take our order, to cook the food. And I'm using McDonald's as an example. Now let's move to the grocery store. They have it set up now to the point, and Amazon ran an ad. Was it Amazon? I don't know what retailer they ran an ad. This was about a decade ago. The commercial that played was the guy walked in. I think he had a bracelet on. I don't want to get into the chip and the mark of the beast stuff. I ain't gonna do that. But he had some way where he walked in and grabbed his stuff and walked right out that store. Everything was charged, scanned, ran up, and billed to his account. And he walked in, got his stuff, and walked. I mean, it was a circle. He walked in and walked right out. They're getting to that point. So
Yeah,
now,
they are. And
yeah,
that brings up a whole bunch of questions about your digital ID, how
yeah,
that they could use that to control people.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah,
I'm
go
writing
ahead.
that word down. You said control. I'm gonna write that down because I don't think it's being controlled at all. We're giving it up. We're giving up all the information. That's where
Well,
I want to go
absolutely,
with
we
this.
absolutely are. We absolutely are free and willing.
Yeah, it's a
Because
religion.
yeah,
It's called dataism. It's a new religion. Christianity has been bumped to the side, and I don't mean to offend nobody, but we have made data a new religion, and we're going to go into that. But now, I mean, let's talk about the grocery store because now also you're thinking like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the guy can walk in. We don't need to check out. That's fine. But how you gonna get the food back on the shelf? Have you seen that Amazon factory where you got those little scatter bots that can raise
I
up and put the
I read an article about it. I haven't seen it.
there's a video. You should see these robots, man. They stack them up. They come in, they just set it back down. It's they got robots that stack the stuff up.
And I mean, I'm
So
sure someday they'll have robots that repair the robots that stack the stuff up.
if the truck that delivers the food to the grocery store don't need a driver, the forklift don't need a
Right,
driver either.
right.
So where there now I'm not totally wiping out the human race out of working, but where does the human fit into this? The human fits into the knowledge of how that robot works, the programming of that robot, and the maintenance of the robot. Do you see
For
where
now, for
French
now.
and the technological savvy that you have to survive in tomorrow's world that's
Right,
coming faster than we think?
right.
You know, but going back to control, I want to go back to I want to hit this imagination you said too. Um, have you seen online they have artificial intelligence that can write a song, produce a song? They took the data that we give up on, we submit voluntarily, of course, and now they have programmed their artificial intelligence is evolving at this rate to where they can write songs and you can't tell who made the song. Was it a composer or was it a robot? Robots, I say robots, artificial, they're writing books. They can write a book and you can't tell who. I mean, I think that's in its infancy. You know, there's a certain skill in writing books, but they're getting there. If they're writing books now, I mean, we're looking at what, how long we've been writing till now. Where are we going to be in 50 years if, and I'm making a broad assumption that most of the population, and it's not a bad thing because we're a diverse, the world is diverse and it's okay. But if most of the population is being replaced by robots, what does the population do?
Uh, well, perhaps that causes the creation of new and other things that
Yeah,
give us imaginate. With our imagination, we create things out of necessity to create more different jobs and
That is
different.
true.
Yeah.
That is true. That's what happened with agriculture. I mean, we're not farming. I mean, there's farmers out there, and thank God for them.
Because that's the thing about humans, we're adaptable, I
We're
think,
adaptable.
and we're willing to, change and evolve.
Yeah.
So.
But Dylan, you're right. I mean, and that's my warning shout to anybody young, anybody old. If you're looking, you're struggling with a job, if you're struggling trying to find your way, just look where technology is going and get a grip around that. I mean, look at the technology that we're using right now. I'm sitting in St. Louis, Missouri. I don't even know where you live. And we're having a conference, man.
It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter
the
where I
Tonight
live.
Show. This is the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson right now. We're doing this like all over the place.
Exactly.
I mean, and metaverse is going to be a whole nother block of topic right now.
Oh,
That's coming
man.
around. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh,
I mean,
man.
if you're,
that's disturbing to me.
It's disturbing.
It's disturbing to me. I know that from what I've heard, and I listened to some podcasts that talk about discussing the metaverse, and we still don't know. I mean, it's in its infancy, really. I mean, we still don't know where it's going to go or how it's going to be, but it raises a lot of red flags for me.
Yeah, it does. It does. Now, here's my question for you, though. But what do we do when we get these red flags? Do we resist it, or do we embrace it and try to understand it so it doesn't manipulate as far as we can, the extreme. Like you said about the whole robot thing. I was going to extremes with stuff, but we're adaptable. Like you said, we're going to come up with new ways. Just like the agricultural, after the agriculture, we moved towards the cities and we industrialized. We became manufacturers of goods and services. And right now we're going through that phase again. And that's why I really want to get that message out to people. We're going through the phase, whether you like it or not. So you can resist it all you want, but make sure you have a grasp and an understanding of a way to align yourself with these new technologies that we're going through.
I think that's a valid, important message. I think it is, because especially like when it comes to like the metaverse, I mean, it's okay to resist it or maybe not embrace it fully, but to understand it and to experience it may be something you need to take place for you,
because it will force itself upon you. If you don't believe me, everybody has forgotten that Facebook is just a website. It ain't no different than friggin' fredwilliams.com. It's just a website. And we have embraced to the point where two couples will fight because one couple didn't make their status Facebook official.
Right.
It's a website, man. And this is what the dataism, I want to go right into the dataism. We're giving up all the information. So we go Facebook official, right? We're a couple now, and we start getting bombarded with ads about marriage, bridal dresses, engagement rings. They take our data we give up and they use it.
They sell it too, right? They sell it to other companies. They perhaps who's running the show with that? Is it the CIA? That's what I hear.
The CIA?
Facebook.
They have to be involved. And again, let's talk about what religion does. It controls the people, right? That's what religion was for back in the day. There wasn't a government. The religion was the government. You paid your tithes, you pay your taxes, you follow the rules here, you follow the rules or you get punished, or you break the rules of the government, you get punished, right? It controls large masses of people. It gave a sense of knowing about the unknown, death. I believe religion is a comforter for death. And I'm not trying, and again, let me get my disclaimer out. We don't step on religions. We respect everybody. You believe what you got to believe, as long as it don't hurt me. And I respect yours. You respect mine. Gotta get the disclaimer.
I believe on maybe the very top surface, religion is to comfort death, but I honestly believe religion is designed to control.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. But again, with the respect to religions, let's talk about this new one that we're doing without even being realized. Again, let's think about this, man. You see on Facebook, they got these ads, right? Or you just so happen to type, hey, I like RC cars because I love RC cars. I like RC cars, right? Man, Facebook can capture that line. Next thing you know, you getting hit with ads. Or you go on Google and you type in RC cars. Once you type that in, how does Facebook all of a sudden start hitting me with these ads? I'm telling you, this is what they're doing. And we're giving up the information when we hit that like button. Dude, I don't know, but back in the day, I don't remember telling everybody my business about where I'm going. I don't tell people what I'm eating. You go about, you tell you, if I'm going to my friend's house, I'm going to my friend's house. You checking in?
That used to annoy me, man. But my ex was good for that, checking us in at restaurants and stuff. And I had to be like, why are you telling everybody where we're at and what's going on? Ain't none of their
Exactly.
business what we're doing.
So they know you're not at home. So they can just go right up in your house and take all your stuff. Because they know you out to dinner. And they know you going to the movies afterwards. Because you post your tickets online. I'm going to see the movie, man. So you gone for 4 hours. Man, let's go hit this guy up and clean him all the way out. I am not admitting, because we're being recorded across the internet. So CIA is listening. I am doing this for educational purposes.
You go, man. You go.
But we're doing this, and this is the dataism. So they know you like steak. So what they gonna start doing? Hitting you with steak, man. They gonna start bombarding you, man. That's the religion they doing, man. They do this all the time. So let's talk about another one that you ain't aware of. So you start getting on this health kick, right? You get you a Fitbit. This Fitbit, man, it can tell your pulse, man. It does your pulse. They tell you your heartbeat. They tell you, I think, blood pressure. Everybody, they can tell you all kind of stuff now. So sorry about that. But they tell you all this stuff. They collecting data on all that stuff. When you check in for your run, collecting data on it. They are to the point where they know your mood based on your heart rhythm. So here's what happens. Let's just say you having a bad day and you feeling depressed. Your heart rhythms, your biorhythms are on this Fitbit. So they watching it, and they know right when you hit 0.7 or the whatever point, they send you an ice cream ad to make you feel good. This is what they doing with your data, man, and we just give it right to them. When you're feeling good, they know. When you're feeling bad, they know. It's omnipotence, technological omnipotence. They know more about you than you do.
And
they know when you out and you see a guy that looks or a girl that fits your bill of pleasure, your sensations going off, and you got this thing on you. Oh, he likes that, huh? Oh, okay. Okay. So, all right. They start hitting you with Match.com ads, right?
Right.
Based on what you like. So you click that picture, that like button, you like that girl, or they did a scan, or they about to hit you up now. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. They know this stuff, man.
And what's bothersome about it though is this technology can be great, and if it was used correctly,
right?
I mean, think about what humans could do for ourselves as far as like medical healing, technological, I don't know, just providing just a better life. I think
no,
an
it
easier
does.
life.
Yeah,
But the problem is the way that it comes down to money, man, and it's greed and
exactly.
Corruption, and it never ends in a good place.
Now I can see there, and again, we're speculating, and my message to the audience is inform yourself of what's going on and try to stay ahead of this curve before you get blindsided. I mean, and let's look at the benefit. We got this pandemic going on. Hope everybody is just healthy out there. But in this case, it's okay I would think, to have a robot doctor that can walk in and diagnose you and let you know, okay, here's your prescription, print it out for you, and go. Actually, while it's printing it out, it's just shouted down to the CVS pharmacy so they can have it ready for you when you come pick up. I think a robotic doctor will work wonders. It can check you anytime. You ain't got to wake nobody up. It's just show up, and do its thing. So there, again, there are tremendous benefits of where this is going, but there's also tremendous consequences if we're not aware of these things happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think like where the metaverse is going,
Yeah.
it could perhaps change the way that society operates completely.
Yeah. It
And
does.
I think in a negative way
Yeah.
that
I think so.
would really hurt the human race.
I think there is the word that comes to mind is balance. And
Good. That's good.
it's balance. You know, we cannot. I mean, have you been out at a restaurant? Have you been to the restaurant and two people, a couple at a table, and one guy got his phone, the girl got her phone, and they're not interacting. You go to a bar. Everybody at the bar, I saw it yesterday. Everybody had their face in their phone. You know, it's almost like a slot machine, man. The way people pick this phone up, it's we're cyborgs. I mean, Elon Musk. You talking about everybody's getting mad at Elon Musk for putting this neural link into it. We're already cyborgs, man. I mean, man, you lose your phone, man, people freak out.
Well, they're
It's
looking
almost
for
like losing your wallet. We're cyborg. This thing is physically attached to me right now.
a lot of that generates dopamine in the brain and stuff like that as well. I
Yeah,
mean, you're basically looking for another hit or looking for another,
exactly. Yeah,
and they know that.
yeah,
They know that, and they
yeah,
know how to stimulate that and increase that with the dings and the messages and
yeah,
the
yeah,
red bubble.
yeah. Oh man, yeah, the like button, man, has been the most dangerous. My girlfriend had this thing she was going to do just to freak people out. She was going to come up with likes, I think it's a thumbs up, right? She's going to make some physical likes, like a little paper, and then just walk up to people and say, "I like you," like button, give them a like.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man.
Oh man, good stuff, man. But yeah, I want to, like I said, keep diving into this. The metaverse is again, they're buying property in a realm that you can't physically manifest it. They're buying property. They're buying parcels of land
Yeah,
in a
it's
digital world,
it's
man.
disturbing, and
Yeah,
it's expensive land. It's
it's
not.
expensive now.
Yeah,
So, what digital mechanism will, and let's just use, and I don't say Bob from Jack in the Box with disrespect. Food services is a industry, and that's a career. Hey, look, I'm gonna say it like this, man. If it put food on your plate for your family, man, go work that job. Don't worry about your title. Don't worry about your status. Don't worry about that. There's so many people that they get caught up in a greater purpose in this life of meaning, and so the meaning is what you give it. Let's go back 1,000 years. There's a village woman. Every day she walked to get water, and she brought it back to her family. And she wanted to be one day be the village chief. And just think about this village chief who led the people, and his job was to keep them safe from the wolves and the attackers and stuff like that. In the grand scope of the universe, is anybody worried about the village chief who had more status than the village woman? No. So we all like Elon Musk. We might like Bill. We look up to Bill Gates. We look up to these celebrities. We look up to these rappers. We look up to these actors. There ain't nothing but village chiefs, and we still getting our water. But the meaning comes to what you do for those who you love, man. That's where the center is,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
We
man.
chasing after all these things, man.
That's
The
right.
cars, the mansions, the money. That ain't no meaning, man. The
That's
meaning is
right.
what you do with your family. So when you work at Jack in the Box, McDonald's, man, whatever you do, you drive a dump truck, man, go put that food on your table, man.
That's right. Just be a good
That's what it's
person.
about.
That's
You
right.
know?
That's right. Provide for others. Be a good person. Spread the
Yeah,
love.
that's where it goes.
Absolutely.
And I say that, so I say that. Let's go back to Bob at Jack in the Box. So what can Bob do in a digital world to be able to afford digital land?
He has
Who
to have
doesn't
it.
have the education of computer science,
Right.
software programming? What do you do in that world? I mean, do you take an avatar and serve it an avatar burger? I mean, I don't understand how this thing is going to work.
From what I understand, there is going to be jobs for your avatars to do on there to make
Wow.
a monetary whatever their system is. I don't know. I don't get it.
So where does that come, like physically here in this world, this physical domain? We have fundamentals: food, shelter, and we get throw clothing in there. We got to stay warm. We got those basic fundamentals. What fundamentals do you have in the digital world? I don't understand that, because we built a simulated reality around providing for those fundamental things, and we did it in such a way as to, like I said, humans are the only people that can gather in large crowds normally, and there is no violence or there is no deaths. No, you get like 50,000 lions and lionesses in one cage. Oh man, all hell gonna break loose. 50,000 animal. Put a bunch of animals together. Man,
Right.
man, somebody gonna be dead, man. Don't put no
Right.
lions and cattle in the same arena watching football, man. They ain't
Right.
watching no football. They gonna eat.
That's right. That's right.
So we're the only people that can congregate in large groups like that without any repercussions. I don't understand where the digital realm of that lies, man.
I don't either. And I think the story's still to be told on it. I'm not sure, I don't know. It's definitely strange times.
Yeah, and it's so strange because I don't, and this is where I tell you, government, are they going to enforce laws in the metaverse? Will there be crime in the metaverse? I mean, we're going into another dimension of reality, but have we caught up to this? Like, I mean, can you rob a bank in the digital world? Can I go to a bank in the metaverse and rob it? And will I get consequences? How is that so? I mean, what is this? But have they set up laws like that? No, because we're behind. We can catch up.
It's strange.
Yeah, it's a strange. I mean, and think about this conversation. We were agricultural. We were looking at people moving into the city to go work at a factory. Man, what the heck are people doing, man? They out their mind, But now look at us, look where it brought the world, So
Right. Now, what do you think? I know you wanted to talk a little bit about UFOs.
Oh yes, I do,
you
man.
think
Oh yeah.
So like we can maybe transition, but can we tie it into like our technology now? Do you think there's any kind of influence with alien or tech or UFOs with our current technology, or kind of where we're headed?
I got a couple of theories on that. I've been doing some thinking. I've been doing some real thinking. Of course, we are using alien technology to push the advanced race. Think of it like this. This James Webb telescope, I got a theory of what they're going to see. When you get that thing lined up, they're about to see glass, because they're going to see that we're sitting in an aquarium. So with that theory, that's just one of my fun theories.
I did a little bit of research on that telescope for the show, because I wasn't real familiar with it. I'm wondering though, are there, I just don't trust people, man, especially the hires, the powers to be. Are they going to tell us everything that they see, or even share what they do find with that thing?
Well, just like now, they're going to blur out some things. But like I said, there is a slow, and this is like the Wright brothers right now, there is a slow revelation. But they're about to tell us. But let me tell you what they're about to tell you. We advanced so far, artificially intelligence and artificially and our own intelligence, that I believe there are two theories I have. The first one is we have manipulated time travel. I'm gonna say it. It sounds crazy. The mathematical equations for time regarding physics work backwards, and we have finally figured out how to do it. And we're going back to help us move forward.
And that's what
is so fragile.
And that's what you think the UFOs are.
That's one. One is, I think it's us, and we're coming back to help out. I think so. I believe that. I think we're averting some really bad stuff by helping. So that's one theory I have. The second one is,
can you hold on a second, because I want to kind of stay on this.
Okay.
So with that being said, all the ancient civilizations that spoke of the sky people and that we were seeded by the aliens, do you believe then that was us still just time traveling back into the past?
They call them angels. I think it was. We're observers. We have technology to go back and observe. Think about it this: how many paintings have they had? Have you seen the paintings where they have the UFO craft on
Yeah.
the painting? They saw something up there that didn't make no sense.
Oh, absolutely.
I believe it. I believe that we're going backwards. We're trying to write some things. It's the next level of manipulation. If I can break the past, the future is brighter. I mean, this is all Terminator stuff, man. And I'm sounding crazy about it, but I think it's a theory that we need to regard as far as these what this species is that has this technology that they possess.
Well, it's an interesting theory, but I mean, if you look at our technology now, though, and you think, maybe in 1,000 years what we can do, it's not that, I don't think it's that far-fetched of a theory.
Not far-fetched. Hey, and here's how they do it. It's not like they come down and show us how to do it. No, send a ship down there and crash it. Let them find it. Let them play with it. Ain't that what they did? There we go. Let's give it Roswell. Crash a ship in Roswell. Send a drone and crash it. Let them play with it. Somebody's sitting there. All right. Let them figure this technology because it's smart. We can do it. We're advanced apes. We're primates. We give a primate a tool. They're doing the same thing to us, man. They're catching us up. That's one of my theories. I think it's us catching us up.
What's the other theory?
Okay. Instead of us doing it, I do believe that there is, again, when they point that telescope out, they're going to see the glass of an aquarium. And I think there are higher order beings, just like we do at a zoo, that are observing us. I mean, they observe. We got animals, right? Think about what we do now. We take animals and we put them in cages and we observe them. And we take some animals and we do experiments on them. We came up with what's the dog that drools? I forgot his name. The dog that drools. I mean, you put probes on mice. We got mice that can do so much stuff. We take these mice and we take animals and we study them. We do experiments on animals. We put them in cages to see how they act in environments, different environments. Is this not Earth, this beautiful planet that we are on? Is it not the same thing?
Just an experiment.
It's an experiment, man. They are studying us.
Now,
they're observing us.
Is it just one big universe, or is it perhaps just an experiment in one tiny universe and there's multi-universes out there of different timelines and different things happening?
One of my things is we don't even know how far. We don't even know what to know because we don't even know what's at the edge. So, and they're saying that it's expanding. What is it expanding into? Is it expanding into another universe? Are the edges going to hit? I mean, is that what they're saying? I do believe that. I think if you look at first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, I think one of those dimensions is choice. Think about it. We had a choice today. Do we do the call or do we not do the call? Our timelines went two separate ways. There is another timeline where we both exist, where we didn't have this call today and different things are happening. So I believe that these aliens are watching these other timelines that unfolded and trying to prevent these things from happening that could happen because of these alternative choices that we made that pop up in multiple universes.
That's interesting. That's an interesting theory.
We have to study. Every choice you make, there has to be another outcome that manifests itself because it's a physical. I can go to St. Louis. I cannot go to St. Louis. There was another life that happened because I did not go to St. Louis. I stayed in LA.
Now, do you think that I personally think that perhaps they're in our waters, whether it's us that's time travelers or, because, just based on the amount of stuff that's been reported by the Navy and others that have seen like ships dive into the water or come out of the water. But what is your thoughts on, I've heard the theory of like, and it's kind of weird to me. So I don't say I believe in it. I just find it odd that they're doing what they're doing in Antarctica, but like the inner Earth theory, where there's beings that live within the Earth and the Earth is actually hollow. Because my thing is with Antarctica, why are we not able? Why will they not allow us to go there? Why will
Right.
they not allow satellite coverage to? We can't even see it from satellite. What's going on in Antarctica that would be such top secret that the whole world is not to know?
Exactly. I agree with that. I got a couple of theories on what you said. I mean, what better way to access inner Earth than to go through the ocean?
That's a good point. And the whole magnetic field of the Earth, it makes more sense if it's got a hole at the top and the bottom, the way the magnetic field works.
Exactly. Yeah, I believe in underground cities can exist. I totally believe it. And I believe they come to surface, they do their observations, and they come back down. I mean, they probably been here the whole time. There probably exist. There's probably a plane. Now, here, I'm gonna give you a scarier thought. Everything glitches, right? So what if they actually just exist side by side with us, and our wavelength of visibility is limited to where they're probably sitting right here beyond UV light,
Right.
existing the whole time. And yeah, they traverse through water and they come out, and that's where people have a sighting. I mean, you got to stay open to these possibilities, and they sound far fetched, but you got to remember we're limited by what we can hear. We're limited by what we can see. We don't know the whole truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And we
so that's
and
what
we
I'm saying.
never we
Go ahead.
likely never will because of our senses are limited.
I disagree with that only because our technological capabilities,
Mm,
we can only see so far, but we can build a telescope to help us see further. So we
that's
extended ourselves.
right.
We can hear so far, but we can hear sounds that are below the with
Right.
technology. That sensors that can pick up
So
those
you
wavelengths.
think eventually someday we may have
We're gonna hit it.
a heck of a lot more answers than we currently do.
Yep, I believe that so much. One of the things too about the spaceships that go through water, their propulsion systems do not push, rockets pushes. It it pushes against. Their propulsion systems don't do that. That's why they just go through water like that. People always, the reports say these things, they drop out the sky. They go from like 80,000 feet to like 0 feet in like a blink of an eye. Their propulsion system is beyond our scope right now because they don't use what we use. They manipulate gravity somehow to achieve these breakneck speeds. It's almost like they fold space where they want to go and they just
That's
hold it at one
interesting.
point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything's empty space anyway. So perhaps they can manipulate that in some way that it there's nothing that is resistant against the craft, or I don't know. I'm just
Exactly.
it's strange.
Yeah. But we're getting there. And that's why I think they're feeding us this stuff. I mean, they built this particle collider in Switzerland, and they're smashing particles. And based on the trajectory of the particles, they can see little faint clues. Now, I'm not saying they're making black holes, but they can see the clues, the ingredients of black holes. They're doing this now. 20 more years. They're going to build a bigger. They're planning on building a bigger CERN to smash these particles even faster. Who knows what's going to pop out with those things? That's pretty scary. But I think, like you said, there's probably inner Earth. They got a whole civilization down there. They come up through the water, make observations, make sure everything's good. Because the aliens, where do they always show up? They show up at these nuclear bases, nuclear ships, nuclear arsenals. They show up and they just, okay, let me show you all. I'm gonna show you all. I'm gonna manipulate with these controls so you
Yeah,
all just don't get too far
and
with this crap.
they
That's
do.
what I'm saying. We go the wrong direction. I think they'll show up and just no, you're going the wrong direction with this. You know.
Wonder what I guess the vested interest would be if they are us from the future. That would make sense. But
Yeah.
I wonder if not from us from the future, what their interest is in us.
Let me give you a hint. Nothing lasts forever, even the human race. What if they just prepping it? They're gonna let us wipe ourselves out or let the race extinct. Their land's already desecrated, so they sent people out to just wait. and they're on their way. So as soon as we get done, we're gonna, have our existence, and then they're gonna settle in. So maybe they're just making a little preps, little observations, little science, just like we're doing for Mars, they're probably doing to us. We got probes sitting on Mars checking the place out. We were planning on sending our first manned mission. They probably got a manned mission to Earth. Why is this place giving off signals? Why is this place giving off methane? If we could pick up this stuff on other planets, they can pick up everything we're doing, man. So I think we ain't gonna come in and just do an invasion. I mean, by the time we get there, they're gonna be gone. The time between us and Andromeda Galaxy. I mean, what's that? What number is that? It's just huge. It's so many light years. It's
Right.
like trillion light years or something like that. What if somebody just somebody out? Or we ain't got to go away from our galaxy. What about the other side of the Milky Way? Just getting ready. We got so much time, and think about the way we go and do things. Greed is going to drive us extinct. I think it's going to be our thing. What killed the dinosaurs? Nah, what killed the humans? Dinosaurs lost because of an asteroid. We're gonna self-inflict ours. Definitely.
The only thing with that is, for me anyway, I don't know, what your thoughts are on, how the universe operates and spirituality and us being energy and all one consciousness.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, if that is the case, then it's just a big playground to play in anyway, right?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. You said a good thing, spirituality, consciousness. I'm gonna throw another word in there, presence. This there's a big debate on whether or not the universe is conscious. Is it active? Or is it just nothing? And one of the things I'm gonna say is, even in the vast nothingness of gaps between planets where there's just empty space, particles are appearing all the time. So there is nothing. Nothing is a word we made up, because there is no nothing. There's always something and nothing. And I think the universe is conscious because it made us. It made a species that can observe. It made a species that can communicate. It made a species that can look at the wonders that the universe has made, and not only look at them, but document them. And they figured out a way to share these information. The information. Why? What good would it be to make an organic being that has the capacity to store vast amounts of data, to the point where we're not even conscious of we have so much data. We're not even conscious. Like I said, I've been in St. Louis. I'm going through my memories now. And where are these memories been? It's like, there's so much stuff that we know. But why? What would be the point of that? If there wasn't a universe that say, hey, look at all these things. Look at this. I mean, the playground. Hey, go have fun in the sandbox. Let me show you how so you don't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
It's a big playground, man. Go discover something, So we ain't gotta be sitting here on Earth looking at somebody else, wishing we could do what they did. No, man, this place is huge. Go do something, because there's a box that somebody made called a camera that's broadcasting some celebrity or model. That don't mean the universe ain't broadcasting what you're doing. Go out there and have fun. Go do what you're doing, man. Do your podcast and enjoy it, man. Because, man, once it's done, man, that's it. It's done. I mean, and I don't want nobody to spend their whole life looking for meaning when the universe has gave you the gift to not only find, but define your own meaning, man. That's what it's about, man. That's why we're here, man. Go. No, nothing's going to drop a mission, a purpose, a passion. Go find that thing, man. And go see what it is. And you ain't got to be famous doing it. Just go do it. And that's what the universe. I think that's what I believe this physical space, this cosmos, this universe has intended. like you said, a playground, man. It's life's a menu, man. Go pick your food.
Hey, that's well said, man. That's beautifully put. And with that, I'm gonna hop off of here. I don't want to take up too much more of your time.
Oh man, it's been a blast, man. I was looking forward to this, man. I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna
man,
do it again, man, because
yes,
I feel
sir.
like we didn't get it all. We didn't get it all in. We never are. I mean,
That's it,
there's just so much to talk about with you,
man.
and but I don't want to keep too much more of your time. And that what you just finished on was a beautiful thing, man. Where can listeners, check out your work, pick up your book, and your new book that's coming out?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like I said, that my goal is I'm looking at a 2022 release for Chrome number 22, but you can find my first book, Scramble, A Perfect Recipe for Math, Murder, and Revenge. It's on Amazon. And if you want more information about that, you can look at my website at www.fredcreates.com.
Well said, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Dylan, man, had a great time, man. Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it.